皆様ごきげんよう、高松菜奈です。本日はロンドンの主権者教育、政治の授業をしているアソシエーション・フォー・Citizenship Teaching という先生の政治の授業をサポートしている団体の代表のリズさんにお話を伺いたいと思います。ぜひご覧ください。
What kind of lessons are essential in citizenship education?
We try to encourage lessons that have real issues built into them.
What are some of the things HT are aware of to help young people have the power to change society and experience success?
So we try to use the school community as a model, if you like. We love to engage students with our real politicians.
Most question. May I have an encouraging message to Japanese students to get involved in political issues? My name is Nana Takamatsu. I am a journalist, YouTuber, and comedian. I also run a private company which provides citizenship education as an only on-site class to schools across the country with sense of comedy. It is the only organization of its kind in Japan. Today, we would like to learn about the current state of citizenship education in the UK, to update citizenship education in Japan, and to give us advice. Thank you for your cooperation. Now, I would like to go to interview. One, what are the current challenges in citizenship education?
So the organisation that I run, the Association for Citizenship Teaching, is a small charity. We are run for teachers and schools, and we support the best quality citizenship education. And by citizenship education, we include teaching about democracy, government and politics, the law and the justice system, moral and social dilemmas, equality, human rights, international relations, and also a very important dimension, which we call active citizenship, where we encourage students to get involved actively in democratic society on causes and issues that are of interest to them. So involving them in making our democratic society a better place for everybody. So we have 4 different systems, but often we find the issues and challenges across the 4 areas of the United Kingdom are quite similar. And that's to do with teacher confidence and competence, because there are not enough trained teachers to go around every school. Sometimes confusion about the subject and what it's really for and what they should be teaching. Sometimes worries about dealing with politically sensitive issues in the classroom and controversial issues. And again, that comes back to teacher confidence and competence. And also an ongoing issue, I think, which is common, is the fact that the curriculum is busy and there are lots of competing priorities. And that makes it hard sometimes for schools to know what to focus on and how best to go about it.
Thank you. What kind of lessons are essential in citizenship education? What are some examples of the emphasis?
So I've sort of highlighted already some of the key big kind of areas around politics, democracy, law and the justice system, how government works, how it's organized, ideas of rights, human rights, international issues, and active citizenship. Within that, teachers then break down those big areas into manageable and teachable topics, and they organize their curriculum around that and around the outcomes they're looking for from their students. So if we want to encourage students to have good knowledge about how the political system in the UK works, then we need to structure teaching to ensure that. We try to encourage lessons that have real issues built into them. So it's not too kind of dry. I love the fact, Nana, that you're a comedian, so you bring a good sense of humour, which we need in education and teaching because it's serious business. And sometimes humour is a good way of engaging students in complicated issues. And so our teachers look for ways of using real life issues that are in the news. Obviously, right now in the UK, and I'm sure in Japan and other parts of the world, there's a lot of concern about things to do with the COVID pandemic, things to do with the Ukraine-Russia situation. Students have questions, and our citizenship teachers try to build lessons around those real life topics. So that they can really engage students in real world issues.
What are some of the things HT are aware of to help young people have the power to change society and experience success? In Japan, few young people think they can change society.
So we find that it's important to engage students in active learning and taking forward issues and campaigns that are of concern to them. It does take a skilled teacher to work with the students to do this. And sometimes it's about school culture as well. So we'll be teaching in our classrooms about democracy and being involved, having a say, having a right to opinion. And we need to model that in our schools as democratic places to learn. So one way that we try and engage students in real action is by democratizing the school through things like student councils and forums that have real decision-making powers. And that's a good way of engaging students in real discussion, taking part in active decision-making with their fellow students, and also sometimes putting arguments to their school leaders about why something in their school should improve or perhaps change for the benefit of all students. So we try to use the school community as a model, if you like, for the real world. We love to engage students with our real politicians. So we try and encourage schools to work with both their local council politicians. So those are the politicians that work very locally in the neighbourhoods of the schools, as well as national politicians, the ones that sit in Parliament. And by having real dialogue and using things like we're using today, Zoom, that can be done quite easily. And when it's organised and structured well, I think the students really get a sense of empowerment from talking with those politicians on about issues that they are concerned about in their local community, in the national community, and in the wider world as well. We have at ACT what we call an active citizenship award scheme, and that's to try and encourage students to take action with others on issues and to give them some recognition for the work that they're doing. And sometimes finding a good way of recognizing and celebrating and valuing the role of students in democracy is a really important thing to do. And something that schools could do at a local school level, or that could be done at a national level through an award scheme or similar. So I think there are different ways and approaches to doing this. One of the other key things I would say here is that wherever possible, the issues that students take action on, and we do try to encourage them to think through the different types of issues, the best way of creating a positive change and thinking about the outcome they want to achieve, should be driven by the student Sometimes the teacher will need to support them in making good choices about issues to work on, but wherever possible, they are student driven. So they're motivated by issues or concerns that the students have. And that can be very empowering as well. And so one of the key learning points is you can't do it alone. You need to work with others. And sometimes change takes time and we have to be persistent in how we approach things. And that's a very good learning point for citizenship students as well.
Oh, thank you. Oh, what skills are essential for teachers?
Okay, there are a number of things. I mentioned earlier that teachers and students are often talking about real world issues that are sensitive, are political and are controversial. There are many different viewpoints and perspectives on these issues. And if we take the current situation in the Ukraine, it's a very challenging global conflict, and there are different perspectives on what's happening, the history of the country, the people that are being affected, and what we can do about it, both at national level and at an individual level. And that takes a skilled teacher to know the boundaries of what can be talked about in the classroom, to be sensitive to the fact that perhaps some of their students may be directly affected because they may have relatives or friends in the conflict area, people that they know who are directly affected, and it's personally sensitive to them. So it's really important that citizenship teachers build an understanding of their students. They get to know them well. They use good ground rules for discussing sensitive and controversial issues. And they think about always the educational purpose of why they're using a particular issue in the classroom. Sometimes it's simply because the students have worries and are concerned about something that's going on in the world. But sometimes it may not be the best time immediately to respond to that issue. And sometimes it takes a skilled teacher to say, okay, I hear you and we will talk about this, but I want to do some work with you first so that you have an understanding of what's going on around this complex issue. And then we're going to talk it through. So we need to build their knowledge and understanding of these issues before they engage in discussions and debates about them.
How do ACT maintain the financial sustainability of the organization? In Japan, donations is made for easy to understand, like child poverty and animal welfare issues. And we are the only company in Japan doing citizenship education on the national scale. Others have pulled out to financial difficulties. We would appreciate your advice.
We also raise some of our income through membership. So we are a membership body. Anybody can join ACT. It's a way of supporting the work that we do. And we provide membership services, and that includes a journal which we publish called Teaching Citizenship. And it's a physical journal that's printed and is posted out to our members, but it's also available online. It also gives membership of ACT also gives discounts on the training and continuing professional development courses that we offer. And we also run conferences that bring teachers together from different parts of the country. And if you're a member of ACT, again, you get a discount on those. But it's very hard. We have yet to explore the donations route for fundraising. It would be lovely if we could find some perhaps wealthy businessmen that were concerned with democracy and engaging young people in democracy to support us. That may be something that's an opportunity for you, I'm not sure. but it's hard. Generally, it's hard to find money to sustain charities like ourselves. And so I would love to give you the magic answer, but I don't think I have it yet. I'm still looking.
Most question. May I have an encouraging message to Japanese students to get involved in political issues?
Well, I think it's really important that students everywhere, including in Japan, get involved in the study and action on political issues, because politics is about everything that's going on around us, wherever there are different perspectives on how we organize society, how our public services operate, how we support each other with healthcare and social care. These are matters that affect all citizens in all countries, and it's important that we get involved in those decisions and processes as young people and as older citizens too. So if we want to have a democracy and a country that's inclusive, where everybody is involved and has a say, then it's important to get knowledgeable about political issues and get involved in playing a part in them.
最後までご覧いただきありがとうございました。ぜひチャンネル登録、高評価お願いいたします。それではまたごきげんよう。